also known as Cranio Mom.
And this is Michael, and I go by Cranio Dad. So we are back together finally for the first time in what seems like forever in front of the camera to shoot another weekly video for Cranio Family Vlogs. We invite you to grab a drink, kick back, relax. We'll let you know how our week went. And we're going to try to make this video shorter than ones that I've posted in the past because 20 minutes is a little long.
Yes, and what turned out to be the flu swept through our house for about a week. And so it's good to be back and getting back on track and getting some things done this week.
Yeah, we're still definitely recovering. We're probably close to about 80% as a household. It's been not so pleasant, but we're getting there. But yeah, definitely wrecked shop on our house. So this week has been a very, very, very busy week. I have no problem and no shame in saying that this is my first full week back at work since the beginning of the year. Due to vacations, holidays, illness, and stuff like that, I have not had the opportunity to work an entire 5-day week the entire year until now. So, yay, I'll go with that.
We made it.
We made
now
it.
that we are in March.
But it's been, like I said, it's been really, really busy. You guys started school back up, right?
Yeah, we had our first 6-week little unit in kindergarten started in January, and then we took the 2 weeks ago we took that week off, our 7th week off, and then we started in again this last week for our first week back, and that took a little bit of effort to get back into schedule, and just doing some reading, writing, basic math stuff with Zoe, and encouraging David to follow along a little bit before he would race off and play on his own too. So that kept me busy a good portion of the week. And we are also working on our garden.
That we are. For those of us who have been following along for a while, I did this thing called Daddy Gardens last year where we started a raised garden bed because we already had a growing family and I wanted to start teaching my kids a little bit about how to take care of a garden and grow some of their own food because we don't know what tomorrow's going to look like for any of us. And yeah, this year we're making it a little bit bigger. I know Katie posted a video on our channel earlier this week, and I'll link to that somewhere in here for you guys to watch about us tilling and getting things ready. We should be garden ready in probably another 2 weeks, but we're not going to put anything in the ground until probably early April.
And the seeds that are making the quickest amount of progress right now are sunflower seeds. We just planted our seedlings last weekend, and our sunflowers are already a good 3 inches tall.
Yep.
And so today we already upgraded those from the little seedling trays to some bigger pots because it still gets below freezing outside now, and so we don't want to put anything out until we get past the last frost of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely the crazy time of year for our weather. I mean, on Wednesday or Thursday, we were in the 80s, and today we barely broke above 35. We got down in the low 20s last night. So, it's just one of those things that we have to try to do seeds, and we're trying seeds for the first time this year. So we'll see what happens with that. So we've got the garden, we've got homeschool. The neat thing about being a very astute family when it comes to dealing with medicine is the fact that whenever everybody gets sick, which has never really happened, but every time that does happen, we wind up going through our entire house and cleaning it from top to bottom. We look to sterilize things, wipe things down, get trash out, things that have just gone by the wayside because Katie's been leveled and I've been leveled. And the kids are just, kids. So we're in the process of doing that this weekend and trying to get the house a little bit more organized. We've got some studio work that we're still trying to get done, but being sick hasn't really allotted that. We've got a few projects that we're working on that we're both having some fun with. I'm getting ready to do some stuff for the Dungeons and Dragons game that I run every single week. And you've got some projects going on too, right?
I do. I'm wanting to do a little bit of kind of a basic geography. It's just kindergarten, so it's nothing too in-depth. But looking at the continents, and this is a picture of the map. This is the Earth. Just getting the kids a little bit more more familiar with with our globe and our world and the continent. So I'm going to work on a little craft. Hopefully this week I can finish that with some felt and have the kids get into that a little bit. Another big event this week was Jacob turned 6 months. I feel bad as a mom because I missed the actual day. I didn't get a picture of him. I didn't even say happy 6 months Jacob on Facebook or anything.
Well, we've been sick.
We have been sick.
We can take a picture and fake it.
Right, but it was kind of sad. I actually realized on March 2nd, I was like, oh, that's right. Jacob is 6 months now. He turned 6 months in February. Well, it would have been February 29th if there was a February 29th.
So March 1st.
March 1st.
So she realized a day late.
I
and
did.
$1 short.
I did. But we've started him on some food, little baby foods and little biscuits and things. I'm not really big on investing in just baby food. Like, I'm more on a kind of a table scrap kind of person, but we've been given some baby food to try out, and so we're using it, and he's loving that. It's fun. It's a fun new stage of life for Jacob with the spoons and food and just trying new things. That's been fun.
And to clarify, when she says table scrap, she doesn't mean actual table scrap. She means we give him smaller versions of what we're eating at the table. We don't feed our children like animals.
Oh, all right. Yes, I probably
So
should clarify that.
And I think
food that we're eating that looks interesting to him, we'll let him play with.
Everything looks interesting to him. He's 6 months old. But another project that we have working on is we've realized there's a bit of an echo. So we have found some pretty cool projects and ways to build some sound dampening equipment that requires some sewing. So I think we're going to bust out the 1968 Singer sewing machine and see if it doesn't catch on fire. And Katie and Zoe are probably going to try to sew some panels.
We'll try. I have had big plans for that machine for months, if not a year at this point, and somehow it just does not get opened and nothing has been done with it, but hopefully we will actually get to the point of sewing with it, and I am excited for that.
Yeah, I've actually got a buddy of mine that I met through the Dad Bloggers group and Dad 2 Summit, named Christian Lee, who actually does a channel called Dad Sews. So I recommend you guys check him out. It's pretty awesome. He's a guy who isn't afraid to show you that he's failed, and he tries it, and the first time that he sews it is when the camera's turned on. So we've got some of the projects that he's done, and I actually want to try doing some stuff too. So after Katie attempts to make something with the sewing machine, if it doesn't work, we'll wind up getting a different one. Probably a Juki to make my buddy Christian happy. But regardless, I'm eager to kind of get behind the wheel and do some sewing as well. So we've got just a lot going on. As a matter of fact, we've got so much going on that kind of brings us to our Cranio moment. This week, as we do every week, we try to talk about how Cranio has affected our family in some positive or negative way. In this way, it's kind of funny, kind of sad, kind of So, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, Katie and I missed and forgot about a doctor's appointment for Zoe.
It was a follow-up a couple months back. Actually, it was back in December now, that she had her third set of ear tubes placed. So this was a follow-up to that appointment to see how her ears were doing and how her hearing was doing, because that's what's been affected the most, is possible because of fluid built up in her ear that she may not be able to hear as well as we'd like her to. But anyway, so there was an appointment for that scheduled this last week. It was scheduled by the surgical team, and so from the beginning I knew it wasn't going to be at a good time. And I had been meaning to reschedule it for months now, and suddenly it popped up on my calendar 10 minutes before we were supposed to be there. And it
While
was
you were at speech therapy.
While we were at her speech therapy appointment. I was like, there's no way this is happening. And it's, just one of those funny moments. I think if we had not been as familiar with her doctor, with procedures in the hospital in general, with just kind of the onslaught of procedures that Zoe has had, I probably wouldn't be quite as nonchalant about it. But I guess that is another kind of a perspective moment. As a Cranio parent, ear tubes are kind of a minor thing compared to the stuff that she's already been through. And so, I do know that there are parents who would probably be freaking out if they missed a follow-up after an ear tube placement. And, it's just a matter of perspective, I guess. It was definitely rescheduled. We will get back there. I'm not going to avoid it forever. But, that was definitely a Cranio moment this week for us. All right, so please let us know if there is something specific that you are interested in that maybe we've talked just briefly about that you want to hear more about. Please let us know. We'd love to have some more ideas and what you want to hear. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.